What's up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video. This is gonna be a quickie. Like, really, it's gonna be 5 minutes, no more than 10. I just shout out to everybody. There's some really good streams out there. Shout out to Sigma, Xanatos, all of y'all. Anyway, you know, and like I said, y'all need to make sure y'all, when it comes to shit like this Gayle shit, Superboy is a dude with receipts. He's a dude with a track record. He's mentioned these people before in other situations. Oprah many times, Tamara Hall many times, Gayle many times. So he is somebody that really, if you, he's like kind of like a Jada Black type of person. Very consistent in his work and he's actually really good for older dudes because I don't know how old he is. I know he's older than me, but his sensibility, like he's really good on these things. Very good content. So your world, go to my community tab to find it. Now, um, I want to jump right in here. So I've never Michael Eric Dyson has always given me. I've always given kind of a pass because he acts like a pastor in the way he tries to get money out of folks. What up, Kobe? But he's never really truly stepped in it. Stepped in it. Basically an academic with a mouth of a pastor. Anyway, with the mouth of a pastor. But this is, this is why a lot of people kind of have this mentality where, why do I go at people so hard? Why don't I just live and let live on certain mentalities? And the biggest reason why is because of people like Michael Eric Dyson. So what is Michael Eric Dyson doing? He's basically, I'm gonna put the articles up later on, but what he's basically doing is charging the attack, the stuff, the pushback that Gayle and Oprah are getting to just misogyny. Yeah, he's charging it to misogyny, and that's some stuff. The only thing that makes like what Gayle King did worse is the fact that Gayle King did something that black people are never supposed to do. This is against like traditional African Americanism, and that speak ill of the dead. See how Kobe passed, and here's the funny thing about it. Nobody was saying nothing about Kobe Bryant before he died when it came to this issue. Now I got some dudes to add into this. It's definitely the epitome of journalistic cowardice and journalistic integrity, especially when you have people all over the world in Mexico, even as close as Mexico, that die over journalistic integrity. You have people that die over journalistic integrity, not south of the border, just to try to use the media as a way to help their country when it comes to cartels. But you got these first world bougie, and I'm not just talking about us, I'm talking about white folks too, that want to talk about journalistic integrity as a propaganda tool in order to defend something. Nobody's saying Gayle could have never brought it up, but for them to bring it up immediately, and for her to try to trap Lisa Leslie like that, that's a con. And everybody knows that. Some people are cool with her asking the initial question, but it's when she kept on going and kept when Lisa answered it, and then she kept on trying to like guide her to what to say. That's what a lot of people are saying. Even people that normally wouldn't have an issue with it are trying to say that's out of bounds. That's clearly journalistic integrity, no matter kind of who you talking about. And then on top of that, dude died with his daughter. But anyway, this is about Michael Eric Dyson. Michael Eric Dyson and Roland Martin are basically using misogyny as basically a cover. So now what you're doing is you're giving women the cover to use that. Now, at first, I heard this happened off the jump, but it was that one of these moist shea butter Twitter dudes. Now you got somebody like Michael Eric Dyson doing the same thing, and remember, Michael Eric Dyson is a political shield for the Democratic Party. So he doesn't see this as a big deal. I don't understand. As smart as that man is, and as deep as the vocabulary he has, because that's what he's known for, that I ain't never heard him use the word misandry. I ain't never heard him use that word. I've never used him written that word. He's very good at trying to be be like a poor man's Obama, bridging the gap between race. But when it comes to the gender shit that would pave the way for Kobe, because Kobe didn't just get hit by white people. He didn't just get hit by white. It was mainly white women. He got hit by sisters too, and he wants to conveniently ignore that. And when I say sisters, I'm talking about specifically Gayle King. Like that's something she specifically did, just like how people specifically called out what that woman did with the Naker thing. That was a specific thing, and she actually lucked out. She actually got real lucky because Gayle probably did her a favor because the heat is completely off of her. Because really, at the end of the day, that white bitches are gonna do what white bitches do, right? The bitch probably get transferred anyway to somewhere else, but she ain't making the kind of money Gayle is making, and Gayle ain't even making that much money for regular morning shows. That's why she's about to get a bigger contract. And I'm gonna keep it real. Like I got real issues with CBS over that. And when you look at CBS's history, I mean CBS, obviously a lot of the white boys are upset because they got a black woman at the center of Star Trek Discovery. CBS has a history of like, um, black girl magicism. Really, if you really look at it. But anyway, my point is really, Michael Eric Dyson is clearly this is what I'm talking about when I talk about a gynocracy. He will try to say that okay, I'm against racism and blah blah blah, but at the same time, he still has to play ball somewhere. And where he plays ball is on the low, that gender shit. You rarely hear him talk about like he talks about black men kind of like Black Lives Matter does. It's something that allows you to get in a room and have something to say. But at the end of the day, he doesn't really give a shit about it because that's not who pays his bills. And this is another lesson about how we need to start promoting people that really speak for us. And if nobody else supports them, we have to support them because we are the only people we got, and that's just real talk. So when you got people that willing to speak out for black boys, to speak out for black men, they have to not expect any support from anybody but us. That's just real talk, and that's just a aside. But yeah, Roland Martin. Everybody knows Roland Martin's a hack, but Michael Eric Dyson is still on television, which is what it is. But the point is, you see how they're pushing back. The first little microwave, they were probing, saying, "Okay, this is journalistic integrity." Ain't nobody really hearing that. And see, I think it's not so much as just you got to remember, it's not just black people that had a problem with what they did. You got to remember how much support Kobe has for the Hispanic community. You got to remember how much Hispanic community is going to see this as a diss to one of their own because Vanessa's still alive. You are literally throwing dirt on somebody's name while his wife that loved him and his kids are still alive. That's what a lot of so no see nobody's looking at that angle. You see, Michael, as smart as he tries to act like he is, and multidimensional he tries to act like he is, he's not looking at the angle of Kobe's daughters are still alive, seeing all of this. Gayle, I don't. I'm assuming Gayle is in LA, and that's why they shoot those shows. That's why Snoop said to come get your shit. Like you're seeing there, yes, it's overwhelmingly positive, but quite frankly, they shouldn't have to worry about this because this is getting almost just as much media attention as a positivity. It's turning it into a circus, which is disrespectful. And I'm gonna give you a perfect example of how bullshit this is. When Joe Paterno died, is one thing Joe Paterno got dragged because he had Sandusky around him and all of that for all that time. We're talking 20 years that this dude was guilty and doing what he was doing and right under Paterno's nose, right? But when Paterno died, they did not bring this shit up. They buried that with him. I remember that because he it wasn't that too long ago that he died. I remember that. You don't hear them keep on bringing up this shit with Penn State. That shit's in the past. They don't see. They don't relitigate. They don't relitigate. When you look at the area of activity and media, they don't relitigate that shit. When these motherfuckers die, the shit dies with them. When it's shit like this, they move on. They're not relitigating. It's not like, okay, take Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey was accused, so we're gonna follow. We're gonna make sure that follows you. Hell, they're trying to let Mel Gibson off the hook with some of the comments that he made, which I care, but I don't care because I think he's been out in the cold for long enough. Long enough. Especially considering kind of the dynamics by which he said it, and then look at what they're doing now. They got Danny Glover about to do another Lethal Weapon with him to say, "Oh, it's okay. Look, Danny Glover's okay." This is the games that they play, and I'm. This is the games that they play, and people like they're like editors. There is an infrastructure behind that. Like I said, I can't make this too long, but yeah, I want anybody to check this out. Fantastic Sigma, Ramil, whatever. I'm gonna do a stream about this because now I got dudes to include too. Now I was gonna do it anyway, but now I got dudes to include because they decided to volunteer. And what I would do is go to your world and my community page, go to that channel, and he's got a video really on the Michael Eric Dyson and Roland Martin stuff if y'all want to get caught up. It's only a 14-minute video. The way Harvey is, Superboy Real World is he's not a slow talker, but you could put that shit to 1.5 playback speed. So really that 14 minutes is really 10 minutes and you'll get 14 minutes worth of content. So definitely check that out. But yeah, these dudes are now using it's almost as if there's no such thing as misandry. It's only misogyny. And they're clearly using those words in order to try to, tamp down people coming at her because they want to make it like, okay, now you're being misogynistic. And that's some traitorous shit. That really is. Now he needs to get heat. He needs to get heat. And these dudes need to understand that y'all are not gonna see. The problem is black men don't make their presence felt as a group. This is true for black men on the ground. This is true for black male celebrities. They don't. The only reason why the biggest reason, in my opinion, why black male celebrities are coming out now is because now they realize they can be in the crosshairs for anything. All of them got dirt. And now it's like all of them can get put up. Some of them really care about Kobe, and this was stepped in it, so it's easy for them to slide this in. But real talk, that's in there too, and I'm not gonna act like it's not. Also, I wanted to say this too. When it comes to a lot of dudes that want to have this kind of 50-50 bullshit, this equal bullshit, this is what I'm talking about. That's the team you on when you do that shit. Because these dudes are gonna choose the money, just like how people say people are cooning. That's gender cooning. That's gender cooning. Where you're choosing the money, like when people that's what it is. And people can tell themselves they're being pro-black because the race is the same. So it makes them feel better about it. It's just like it's the same dynamics when people try to say, well, we're all Americans. We're Americans first. I'm a man first. I'm a Christian first. It's Roland Martin. It's the same thing that folks do in here. Oh, we're all black. Or we're all FBA. They do that in order to give themselves permission or make themselves feel better about what they're doing. At the end of the day, I'm about right is right and wrong is wrong. Shout out to Lisa Leslie. And I mentioned sisters before Lisa Leslie defended Kobe and went at the media. Because that's what they're supposed to do. I'm gonna keep it real. One thing that I don't agree with is I don't agree with going into white media and throwing shit. Like as much as I have issues with any black female, whether it's Janelle Monáe or whatever, I don't believe in going to the white media to airing out those grievances. And no, YouTube doesn't count. So don't fucking say that. I'm talking about traditional media where you're being sat there, every conversation. I don't believe in doing that. And we got to, and quite frankly, that only happens one way. Most of the time, if you hear dudes talking shit, it's them making their own press release style statements like 50 Cent, or they're going on social media. They're not going on other media platforms talking shit about somebody else. They're not doing that. Khalees didn't, Nas didn't do that about Khalees. Meek Mill, quite frankly, didn't do that until Nicki wanted to say something. We're not doing that. And that's one thing that's interesting And I'm gonna end it with this, with that. That's one thing that's interesting about a lot of people that want to talk about what we're saying or what gets said in the manosphere is we don't get on other white platforms and then allow ourselves to be used by those platforms as a weapon. We're airing out our own grievances on our own terms with our own shit. People can see it, people cannot see it. We're not saying, hey, this is gonna get 2 million viewers. Let me go on here and talk shit. The closest thing you can get to that would be like Tyrese. And technically, Tyrese went on a Breakfast Club, which is technically a black platform, where there was clearly women and people there to push back against what he was saying. And he still technically with a mixed chick anyway. So anyway, well, I mean, I'm just saying, I want to draw out that direct comparison because I think because a lot of that gets lost in the conversation. People think, oh, well, you do it and I do. No, no, that's not what it is. That's not how it goes down. And we need to stop framing it that way. And if you're too ignorant, and if you're too ignorant to not know what's going on, then maybe you need to learn. And I'm talking about anybody. Because we got too many people that they have these circular arguments. Like before, you got to think about all of this. You got people that want to say they're black first, right? Yet when O'Shea had the Rumble, Taz, he wanted to act, he wanted to throw shade at Kobe. Nobody's asking you to like elevate him to this. That's not what nobody's asking. But stop trying to like throw water on him, too, and counter it. And because now you get put in the same boat as Gayle and them or Michael Eric Dyson. That's who you are now. Now all the B1 people that are real B1s like Professor Black Truth and Jason Black. Look, Jason Black mentioned that Kobe tried to act like he was Italian and shit. But at the end of the day, Jason also acknowledged that Kobe coughed up some paper. And I'm gonna tell you something. If you're a black man and you're a celebrity and you're coughing up paper to the black community, as far as I'm fucking concerned, that's the only thing you really owe to the community. Now, you can create trust in organizations, and Kobe had his Kobe organization, but and could have Kobe did a little bit more? Sure, he could have. But I bet you've done more than Dre. You ain't seen Kobe do no Duke's goofy shit like give University of Southern California $10 million. I mean, even I don't like Charles Barkley, but Charles Barkley coughed up money to an HBCU. I mean, yeah, Bill Cosby did that. So what is that? But I mean, shit, you got to get people coughing up shit first. Anyway, I'm gonna let y'all go with that. And then be looking out for the stream later on today.